analyze the graph of the function h of x. So if I look here, I have a polynomial. And remember, last chapter we learned that the highest degree tells you the max number of x-intercepts. Max number of x-intercepts. So the question is, describe the number and types of zeros. So what does that word zero come from? So if you pick here, there is your x-intercept because it's crossing the x-axis. That has an order pair of what, class? What's the order pair? -1, 0. Because an x-intercept has y value as its 0, they call that zeros. So describe the number. So at x equals -1, there is 1. Let's draw 1. Let's draw a big one. 1. That's my squiggly. There is 1, 0. I have a question. What type of 0 is it? Is it real or imaginary? That is 1 real. Remember, it's the number 1 because it's a shoot through. It goes through the x-axis, not a kiss or a bounce. Okay? Well, let's think about that. In this problem, we said that there's 3 max zeros. Where are the other 2? That means we have 2. There are 2 imaginary zeros. What could that look like? Let me exaggerate the graph a little bit. It goes through the x-axis once, and then here's kind of like your kiss, right? It doesn't touch the x-axis. Remember, imaginary and complex come in pairs. Do you guys remember that? So this is always an even number. 0, 2, 4, 6. Okay? B, read for us. Jesus. Okay, so again, they call this a 0 because in the order pair there's a 0. So I want to write this as a factor. Factor basically means you have parentheses. Now this is not an order pair. Okay? So how do you write this as a factor? Well, notice how it says it's equal to -1. I want you to set it equal to 0. Let's write that. Set equal to 0. And it's not exactly the zero product rule, but it gives you an idea of what we've done before and it's still coming up. Remember setting it equal to 0? ZPR. R. Zero product rule. Well, why do I call it the zero product rule? Well, you're going to set it equal to 0. You're going to make this equal to 0. I have to move away this -1. How do I do that, class? Move it away. Move it to the left side. You would do what? Add 1. So it would read x plus 1 equals 0. Now that I have it set equal to 0, this becomes my factor now. So my factor becomes x plus 1. Pay attention here. Although it reads x equals -1, it's kind of like the opposite. Do you see that? And the reason why that works again is if you set it equal to 0, you will see that. C. Read that for us, Raul. It means x plus 1, what we just found out above, x plus 1, parentheses x plus 1, divides into h of x. Right now, warm-up, we did long division. It's basically saying there is no remainder. If there's a 0 as your remainder, then it's a factor. If there is a remainder, right, we had a remainder 15, then it's not a factor. And D, read for us. Bernard?
How can you do that
A factor with a 0 R, you write it as x minus R. So again, they call this the factor. And remember, in this formula, be careful, you have x minus. Now, just do set it equal to 0, and that'll be probably pretty helpful.